At some point, haven't we all fantasized about being superheroes, wielding incredible powers like time travel or super strength? Unfortunately, the reality is quite different, where even summoning the TV remote with a thought remains firmly in the realm of fantasy. But imagine a world where people actually possess abilities that seem straight out of a comic book. It's true, such individuals exist. However, these extraordinary capabilities often arise from rare diseases, carrying profound consequences. In this video, we're diving into the unusual world of medical conditions that grant people superhero-like abilities, albeit at a significant cost. Let's explore these remarkable stories. Number 10. Absence of fear. If you find yourself jittery and on edge during every monster scene in a movie, you might have daydreamed about what it would be like to experience no fear at all. Surprisingly, for some individuals, this isn't just a fantasy. It's their reality, due to a rare condition known as Urbach-Wiethe disease. Those affected by this disease have shown extraordinary levels of bravery, from casually handling venomous snakes to facing down threatening assailants without a hint of fear. While it might seem like a superpower to not feel fear, this condition comes with significant drawbacks. It stems from a deterioration of the amygdala, a crucial part of the brain involved in processing emotions, which becomes calcified and dysfunctional. Without a fully operational amygdala, the concept of fear is virtually foreign. However, the disease is not without its severe implications. Individuals may suffer from voice abnormalities, facial lesions, skin thickening, seizures, and potential intellectual disabilities. While the absence of fear might sound appealing, the associated challenges are considerable. Number 9. Insensible to pain. Next up is the power of being immune to pain. Well, not immune to it, but rather insensible to it. Yes, you heard right. There are people in this world that possess the ability to not feel any kind of pain at all. While it's technically not a superpower, the condition responsible for this is called congenital analgesia. In simple terms, it's a condition that inhibits your ability to perceive physical pain, and like some of the superpowers you see in comic books, this condition is present at birth. So, people who are born with this condition don't feel any pain at all for their entire lives. While it may seem like a pretty cool superpower, it does have some cons. Well, a lot actually, now that you think about it. Let me explain. People with this condition can feel the difference between sharp and dull, hot and cold, but can't sense when the coffee's burning their tongue or when a nail pierces their foot. This means that they're not aware that they're hurt, when in reality, their body is going through serious harm. So if you have this condition and your body gets stabbed, you won't feel the pain, but that doesn't remove the fact that you might actually die. Makes you kind of second guess it, huh? Number 8. Superhuman Strength. Myostatin-related muscle hypertrophy can turn you into a powerhouse. This rare genetic anomaly leads to decreased body fat and a significant increase in skeletal muscle size, allowing some individuals to possess up to double the typical muscle mass. More muscle naturally equates to greater strength, sometimes to an extent that might seem almost superhuman. Consider the astonishing case of Liam Hora from Michigan. Born in 2005, Liam was not your average baby. At just 5 months old, he executed an iron cross, a feat extraordinary for someone so young, as most infants are just beginning to sit up at this age. By the time he was 3, Liam's body was 40% muscle, a staggering percentage virtually unheard of in toddlers. Liam's diet is as robust as his physique. With a hearty appetite akin to that of a bodybuilder, he relishes his ice cream and KFC, effortlessly polishing off hearty meals which fueled his substantial muscle growth. His remarkable strength and energy have not just been for show. In 2015, Liam leveraged his might at his local church's annual Paxi eating contest, winning his division. It's a playful reminder that all that muscle requires plenty of fuel. Liam sure knows how to keep his strength up. Number 7. The ability to learn anything. There are extremely gifted people in this world that have the ability to learn anything. A lot of these extremely talented individuals have a condition called savant syndrome. It's a rare condition wherein someone with significant mental disabilities is extremely gifted in certain abilities, much more gifted than any average person. While photographic memory is one skill that most people with the condition have, it's not the only one. Some can solve complex mathematical equations in an instant, and some have artistic abilities that rival those of Michelangelo and Picasso. Lots of notable people have had this disease, including Kim Peek, who had exceptional memory and could accurately recall the contents of at least 12,000 books. While they're indeed gifted way beyond the average person, they have mental conditions that may make life difficult for them. Generally speaking, those with the condition have brain damage, and about half of them are autistic, or otherwise known as autistic savants. However, that doesn't take away their superhuman skills, and with only a few hundred of them around the world, it's a superpower they should be proud of having. Number 6. Vampire disorder. They're afraid of sunlight, have razor-sharp teeth, and are extremely pale. Vampires, you may have thought, but you'd be wrong, since these people have hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, a disorder that results in the abnormal development of structures, including the skin, hair, nails, its teeth, and sweat glands. Their teeth are normally absent or malformed, and they're hypersensitive to sunlight because they have fewer sweat glands than normal. While it may sound cool, this disease makes life extremely difficult. Every time people with this condition go out of the house and into the sunlight, it endangers them, so they need to wear sunscreen and protective gear. That means they can't even experience the beach because of the hot weather. What's even harder is that because they look like vampires, other people tend to make fun of them. But just because they may look like vampires, it doesn't mean they're not human, and they can still have lots of fun. A lot of people with the condition make light of it, and here's proof. Number 5. Stone Man disorder. While the idea of transforming into a character like the Thing from the Fantastic Four might sound intriguing, in reality, this condition is far from desirable. Officially known as fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, this exceptionally rare genetic disorder affects connective tissue and progressively worsens over time. Essentially, the condition leads to soft tissue damage healing by turning into bone, and joints can become fused, causing extreme pain during movement. Sadly, there is no known cure for this disease, which affects 1 in every 2 million people. While it might seem like having extra bone could provide additional protection, the reality is far less convenient. Joints may lock in place, and surgical removal of the extra growth can prompt the body to compensate by producing even more bone. Before we move on to the next fascinating topic, remember to subscribe if you're enjoying the video. We post amazing, fact-filled list videos every day. Also, don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated. You won't want to miss out on all the incredible insights we share. Now let's continue. Number 4. Multiple limbs. Ever dream of having an extra limb or 2? Or maybe even 4? It sure would be helpful in life if you could function them effectively. But some people don't need to dream because for them, it's a reality. Being born with multiple limbs is usually due to a birth defect called polynelia, also known as Hydra syndrome. Though it does sound appealing to have an extra pair of fingers or even 2 extra pairs of legs, the extra limb is most commonly shrunken and/or deformed. Though sometimes the limbs may be useful in functioning, in most cases, they're useless and often seen as a hassle. But wait, it gets even more bizarre. This disorder doesn't only affect limbs, but can even give you multiple genitalia. To call that a superpower is entirely up to you or your partner. Number 3. Insensitivity to cold. You might not become Iceman from the X-Men, but this phenomenon is about as close as it gets. A rare few individuals across the globe exhibit an astonishing insensitivity to cold, a trait that, while not a disease, certainly resembles a superpower. One of the most famous examples is Wim Hof from the Netherlands, who has achieved remarkable feats through his unique capability. Wim Hof holds 26 world records, including one for the longest ice bath, enduring the chilly waters for 72 minutes, and another for the fastest barefoot half marathon on ice, completed in 136 minutes. He's also known for his daring swims under frozen lakes. The secret to his extraordinary abilities: training. Hoff is an avid practitioner of specialized breathing techniques that form the core of his eponymous Wim Hof method. Hoff asserts that his method not only harnesses the body's potential to withstand extreme cold, but also claims it can treat or alleviate symptoms of various illnesses, including multiple sclerosis, arthritis, diabetes, depression, and even cancer. It's a powerful reminder of the mind's potential to influence physical health. Number 2. Super memory. To be honest, if I had to choose superpower, it will be super memory. Imagine what you could achieve if I knew everything. You will be like Tony Stark on the brain drug from Limitless, and that exactly hyperthermia have. People with hyperthermia can recall almost every day of their lives in near-perfect detail. There are only around 60 people in the world that have this condition, and they say that they can remember details as far back as in their childhood. And here, I'm struggling to remember the name of the first disease I spoke about a few minutes ago. While it may seem like a cool condition, there's always a catch. Because of their extraordinary memory, they remember everything, even their bad memories. Apart from that, constant headaches and fatigue are common symptoms as well. Remembering everything is cool, but it's tough when you can't forget the bad moments. Before I reveal the number 1 example, here's an honorable mention: HIV-resistant people. Yes, it's real, and yes, it's backed by science, but not as you'd expect. Some fortunate people have a genetic mutation that disables their copy of the CCR5 protein, which is the protein used by the HIV virus as a doorway into human cells. So, if you don't have a CCR5 protein in your body, then HIV can't enter it. Not only that, but some people have been reported to have 2 copies of the gene mutation, which doubles their resistance to the deadly virus. This is extremely rare among people around the world. Only about 1% of Caucasians have 2 copies of the gene mutation, and it's even rarer in other ethnicities. That being said, human evolution has taken a big step in battling viruses around us. Makes me wonder what viruses humans will be immune to in the next 100 years. Number 1. The super sleeper mutation, HDEC2. Number 1. The super sleeper mutation, HDEC2. We've reached the top of our list, and this one goes out to everyone who wishes they could spend less time in bed. Personally, I need over 8 hours of sleep each night just to function properly, but let's shift focus to those who thrive on far less. Some people, blessed with the HDEC2 mutation, feel fully charged after just 4 to 6 hours of sleep. Imagine that, being wide awake and energetic, while the rest of us would still be reaching for our morning coffee. Individuals with this mutation, often referred to as short sleepers, are typically full of energy and happiness, allowing them to accomplish more throughout the day. It's not uncommon for some to manage 2 jobs, not out of necessity, but because they have the time and energy to do so. Think about it. With only 4 hours of sleep per night, you have 20 hours left in your day. That's plenty of time to pursue extra activities. As much as that sounds appealing, I must confess, I'm too fond of my bed to limit our time together to just 4 to 6 hours. And if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear about Thanh Ngoc, known as a super non-sleeper. According to the Vietnamese news organization Thanh Nguyen, he hasn't slept in 45 years. Although it sounds remarkable, he has described his condition as feeling like a plant without water. Personally, I'd much rather be well-rested and alert. Which superpower would you choose if you had the option? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for tuning in.